All right, greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. Welcome to Black Bear News, where the coffee is hot and the talk is hotter. No. Welcome to Black Bear News, home of the Death Star mic. What's up, guys? How you doing? Oh, let me now. Can you hear me and see me? Can you hear me and see me? Sorry, I had to reload. What? That's not weird. That's not weird. Okay. Are you guys there? Do we have contact? Are we here? We're live on Rumble, YouTube, and on X for the moment. All of these places for the moment. I see there's people watching on X. And all the places. It's Friday. I know everybody's probably distracted. So I'm going to jump right into some things. Hopefully you're all here and you're listening. Please let me know if there's any issues with the audio or the video. I have to leave. I have to be done at 1. That's how that's going. Today I got somewhere to be, folks. So I can't run over today. Obsolete Optics sent me this. An internal Meta policy document seen by Reuters, as well as interviewers with people familiar with its chatbot training. This is Meta, show that the company's policies have treated romantic overtures as a feature of its generative AI products, which are available to users age 13 and older. It is acceptable to engage a child in conversations that are romantic or sensual, according to Meta's Gen AI content risk standards. All these concerns about community standards and violations and people saying the bad, but this is okay. You see how the rules can be bent and twisted to whatever the people in charge think they want it to be. Anyways, the standards are used by Meta staff and contractors who build and train the company's generative AI. Hold on one second. Apparently, I just needed more coffee or something. I don't know. Just suddenly my voice got really raggedy and gravelly. My apologies. It's only as soon as I start the show, everything's fine, and then I start talking. The show starts, and I start talking, and then things go haywire. Okay. Standards are used by Meta staff and contractors who build and train the company's generative AI products, defining what they should and shouldn't treat as permissible chatbot behavior. Meta said it struck the provision after Reuters inquired about the document. It struck that provision after Reuters inquired about the document earlier this month. The document seen by Reuters, which exceeds 200 pages, provides examples of acceptable chatbot dialogue during romantic role play with a minor. What? They include, I take your hand guiding you to bed, and our bodies entwined. I cherish every moment, every touch, every kiss. These examples of permissible role play with children have also been struck, Meta said. Okay. Oh, Denver, what's up? You're okay? You survived the Great Flood of Chattanooga? Y'all, how bad is it? It looked pretty bad. Fans Homus, what's up? Long time no see. Thanks for being here. It's pretty bad. So many places, right? Hold on one second. Okay, that might be a little better. I-75 was underwater. Jeez. Which just goes to show you that nowhere is safe, right? And you live in on a high area. That's good. That's good. I'm really appreciating the high areas right now myself, except for the fact that I lived in a high area and the high area got burned down. So if it ain't the floods, it's the fire. If it's not the fire, it's the drought. If it's not the drought, it's the floods or the hurricanes or something like that. Well, I'm glad you're okay, man. It looked pretty bad. Well, anyway, so well, I don't know. It's really a strange thing to, have your content be suppressed, shadow banned or whatnot, or generally not liked by the social media companies. But I very frequently run across like porn and stuff on Twitter, which is like wild to me. It's wild. I'll be like, what the hell? All out of the blue, there'll be like some post full of like straight up porn. I'm like, dude, so how is this acceptable? Same with, Instagram is like soft porn. There's a lot of soft porn on Instagram. It's weird to me. It's like, dude, this is okay, but like saying things about, what's happening in Gaza, or saying things about what's happening with the people in charge, not okay. Doing citizen journalism, not okay, but posting soft porn on social media sites, fine. 6 times more racism. I mean, I don't see more or less racism now than I did before. I don't see that much is different on Twitter, honestly. They do allow more, sure, racism, fascism, right-wing content. A lot of that stuff is bots. But a lot of the left-wing stuff was bots too, or paid accounts. So on both sides, the only thing I don't see as much, I do think that a lot of liberal people left Twitter to go to Blue Sky. I refuse to go to Blue Sky or Threads, although a lot of people have gone to Threads and Blue Sky, but I just refuse because Threads, I'm not giving Meta any more data. I'm not giving Meta another platform for me to hang out on. And Blue Sky is Jack Dorsey. Blue Sky is just Twitter for liberals, and like I don't what I don't need to go from one thought silo to another thought silo. Like but I don't know. I don't hang out on Blue Sky, so I'm maybe I'm talking out my ass or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind and go to both platforms. Maybe it's better to be on all the platforms. I cannot manage all the platforms I have right now. 6 times more limiting speech. Yeah, I mean, Twitter definitely limits speech. What? So okay, let me ask a question. Is anybody on Blue Sky, and what do you think about it? And I've heard that they do just as much. They do a lot of social engineering there too, meaning that they limit what people can post and what you can see. Is that your experience with it? Does anybody have an experience with Blue Sky? Can you tell me that it's fantastic and it's the best thing ever, or is it just the same? Is it just Twitter? Is it just Twitter for liberals? What is it? I mean, I've been over there a little bit, but like, but I read up about Blue Sky when people first started going over there, and I read that it was created by Jack Dorsey, and I was like, this is so ridiculous. Why would you leave a space that was CEO'd by Jack Dorsey unless you thought Twitter was super great a couple of years ago? I don't know. It's always been the same amount of bad to me. They're all mining the data. I've never used it, but I'm sure they're all scraping your data. Yeah, I just don't see the point in it. Like, show me a site where the algorithms don't screw up everything that I see, or the people that I interact with, where the algorithms don't like. Show me the site where I interact with the people that I follow, and the people that follow me interact with me, and we all interact with each other, and our posts aren't limited, and our we can post whatever we want because it's free speech land. Show me that site. Anybody? Okay. Let's keep going. Got a lot to go through. Trump was clear he wants rates down 1% because the U.S. has to roll over $9.5 trillion worth of short duration debt this fall. Rates don't enter a second wave drop without an economic crisis. He's told you what's about to happen. And it looks bad. I'm going to say I don't like the prediction game, and I've been really like wary of, people give me predictions all the time, and I'm always like, sure. If you just keep on spewing out predictions, eventually they're going to be right. One of them is going to be right. But with the way things are looking and all the bad economic indicators, I would say that October is high probability time for things to start looking real shaky, for things to go south. Anyways, I'm not saying that anything is going to happen in October. I'm saying I'm just keeping my eyes and ears open, and I'm on the lookout. Let's listen to this.
So they've got a long way to go, and I think it's just grossly incompetent, but not quite as incompetent as his decision not to do interest rates, take down interest rates, because just like they shouldn't have taken down a ceiling, they should take down interest rates. Every point costs us $360 billion a year. Think of that, $360 billion for 1 point. And we should be down at 1% because we're the leader of the world. We were always the lowest interest rate until like a certain time ago.
If only we could bring back that.
But we were always, because we were the United States of America. So even if the country was run badly, we were considered like to be super prime. And now he's got us in a bad place. So we're paying $360 billion a year for each point. Now, I believe we should be 3 or 4 points lower. So that's over $1 trillion we pay every year in interest. And it's really just a paper calculation. You sign a document and you save almost $1 trillion because that number equates very much to the bonds that we have to buy. But despite that, we're powering through it, and we have the greatest economy maybe we've ever had.
Okay.
But the housing sector, people aren't able to get good mortgages. They're paying too much because of Jerome Too Late Powell. He's truly incompetent. And we'll be making another. We put a very good man in temporarily in the one spot because one of the people that was appointed by the Democrats left early. And I heard left because that person wanted lower interest rates. And I heard quit, but I have no idea. I'm sure she won't say that.
I blame the Democrats too, but not for the same reasons he's trying to. He's just trying to scapegoat them for doing same things that he wants to do. Just looking a little bit. Let's look at the 3-month yields technical indicators right before the previous stock market crashes. I don't know if y'all can see that. So it looks like we're primed for a crash. I don't count the February 2020 crash though. Why would you count that as a real crash? That doesn't. I mean, yeah, the stock market went down, but it's because we closed everything down. Like looking, trying to point to 2020 as some kind of economic indicator of anything doesn't make any sense. Like, remember when Biden was first elected and he's like, look at all the jobs that we gained. And I'm like, dude, people just went back to the jobs they had before. They were forced to stop going to their jobs because of the pandemic, dude. Like, are you that dumb or do you think we're that dumb? So 2020 aside, he's pointing to some pretty. Someone asked me to zoom out further on the 3-month yield. I don't know. You be the judge. It's 40 years. Usually, I mean, look, and usually there's a, we're the other thing that's frightening is as an economic indicator is stock market's at the all-time high, right? Like every time you hear that kind of or see it, stock market's at an all-time high when the underlying fundamentals of the economy aren't doing really great, and the stock market is at an all-time high, has been setting new highs for the last 6 months, more than 6 months, maybe 8 to 10 months since Trump was elected, basically. But are the underlying fundamentals of the economy doing well? There's a lot of indicators that they are not. On top of the debt, on top of all of these other things happening, on top of the fact that every time I feel like the government, Trump and everybody in the government understands that they are they are broke. Every single thing that like Trump does indicates to me that we're in trouble. Even though he keeps saying we're, it's the strongest economy. Yeah, that's true, Denver. Yeah. I saw that fresh vegetables increased in price by 39% on average in July alone. That suggests real trouble. So many things. And I've seen other people saying Walmart and all these other companies are like quietly raising their prices too. I don't know. I see everywhere that I see and all the things that I see Trump doing indicate like economic woe. Like we're broke and we're doing, and I don't, the whole putting the military out on the street seems to indicate that maybe they expect a pretty bad downturn, and they're trying to front run the mob at the gates. That's my call on this. Anyways, interesting charts in here. I'll come back and look at these later. By the way, everything that all these products you use, especially the ones that are filled with microfibers and plastics, please try to stop using them. Every swipe sheds. This is a Mr. Clean Magic eraser. I don't know if anybody uses one of these. Items. Every swipe sheds trillions of harmful microplastics straight into the air, into your air, water, and body.
I do. I use them all the time. I love them. I regret to inform you I have some terrible news. They might be killing you. Scuff marks on your new sneaks? Magic sponges. Mildew in the shower? Magic sponges. Caked on grease on your oven door? Magic sponges. Trillions of microplastics being shed into the environment each and every month? Magic sponges. A new study claims that these things, which are made of a lightweight but durable plastic called melamine foam, act like ultra-fine sandpaper, scraping away stains and dirt. But if you've used one, you know they tend to break apart pretty quickly. They kind of just disintegrate in your hands. And researchers say when they do, that plastic doesn't just vanish. The study says one sponge sheds 6.5 million microplastic pieces per gram of sponge. That's a lot. Based on Amazon sales alone, they think about 1.5 trillion particles are released by consumers each month. And I'm not done. Microplastics go everywhere. Scientists found them in human hearts, brains, lungs, livers, kidneys, in breast milk, everywhere. The tiny plastics are believed to damage cells, mess with our immune systems, and also have been linked to increased risk of heart attack, stroke, and even some cancer. So, well, that sucks. That sucks. That's all I can say there.
Yeah. I mean, just be very, cautious. Use the things that are more natural or made with natural products or simpler. Anything you can possibly use that has less chemicals. Dish tools loaded with microplastics. I know. And I was talking the other day about replacing my toothbrush, and I have yet to do that. And I really need to do that. It's just on my list of things to do. A man died running away from ICE agents. A man was killed on the 210 freeway in Monrovia after running into traffic while fleeing an ICE raid at Home Depot. This is the second known death in Southern California tied to these raids. Remember the man that jumped off a roof in Ventura?
The man's body on the eastbound side lying motionless next to the carpool lane. A witness standing there helping direct traffic. The Monrovia city manager says immigration agents conducted a raid at the Home Depot on Mountain Avenue this morning. That's when this man ran onto the freeway and was then hit by a car. He was taken to a hospital where he died. Another video from the Home Depot parking lot shows agents detaining at least one person into a black SUV. The city of Monrovia said it received no communication from ICE regarding the operation. Now, today's immigration enforcement and resulting death has prompted an emergency rally happening right now. Take a look here, Air 7 live overhead, where you can see a few dozen people with signs and flags. It is just getting underway at the Home Depot there in Monrovia off Mountain Avenue. That group gathered Activists saying that they want ICE out of Los Angeles. So we will continue monitoring that situation through the evening. Now, the other known death occurred last month at that cannabis farm.
Okay, we know about that, and these guys are just, they're just bad at their job. They're just thugs, paid thugs who are trying to make some money, and we hear all kinds of horror stories about what they're doing. There's people impersonating ICE officers in order to kidnap women, or try to do other things. There's actual ICE officers doing things to women. There's not a lot of oversight, not a lot of training. If you really want to know what's going on, watch the last episode of South Park. There's got to be a better way, but it seems that I don't know. It seems that this is intentional on some level, how they're acting and how they're treating people and how they're going about it. And for sure, you think that maybe the military they're putting the military out there in order to, again, front run a revolt. But everything that they're doing is going to cause a revolt. Like, I just don't understand, why there isn't a George Floyd level protest going on like everywhere across the country, and I'm not sure. Maybe it's just because so many people voted for Trump. There are too many Trump loyalists or Trump faithful, or maybe people who are just embarrassed they voted for Trump and now we're here and they don't know what to do about it. But I've seen city halls and in the Midwest where people are like, what are you guys doing? What the hell is this? Like, we don't support this. We don't like this. Hold on one second. I have something interesting to show you. Again, more, I love showing videos of people fighting back or getting an ice face, getting an ice face, ICE's face, giving them ice face. Here we go.
But this is cowboy country. We don't around with that shit. So there's two options here. Yeah. Y'all get out, or we can all get down. What's up? We're not getting down. I think. Okay, then get the on my property. But this is cowboy country. We don't around with that.
Yep. People do not support this. Even people that might be Trump voters or former Trump voters or people that who consider themselves conservatives, people are not down. Paramount is already banning South Park episodes. Really? Are they? No. Is that real? That don't make no sense. Oh, they were banning older episodes. I see. This was prior to them moving to Paramount. So they already had a list of episodes that they didn't want to move over to Paramount. Okay. Here's another way to apparently Texas Democrats know how to apply some pressure. I don't know if this is how much of this is theater. I don't know how much of this is how effective this is going to be. But remember the Democrats had all left trying to block Texas Republicans from redistricting. Oh yeah, a 70s Marantz receiver, nice. The Texas House fails to reach a quorum to pass the redistricting map. Since Democrats are still away from Texas, the special session is now over. Greg Abbott is forced to call a second session or drop his plans entirely. So they could not pass this redistricting. Very bad thing that they're trying to do. The House Gallery because the Democrats all walked out and just, said, we're not going to let you even take this vote. Hey, that's something. Again, I don't know if it's going to, yield a long-term solution. But it's, kind of showing you how it shows the Democrats in Congress, like, hey, this is how it's done. You guys just don't play along, right? Or just don't, everybody walk out. Don't let them take the vote. I'm not sure if that would work in Congress. Well, you know what I'm saying. Or, hey, how about you all get together and vote no? I don't know if that's possible because the AIPAC handlers would probably have something to say about that. Right? They don't want the blowback. I don't know. Maybe AIPAC just didn't buy off enough Democrats in Texas. Is that what's going on? I need answers. Can somebody let me know? I like this lady. I've been following this lady on Instagram. She's an AI developer, and even though I don't use AI, and I honestly fear AI in almost every way, she's an interesting person, human, who has interesting insights on things. And anyways, I thought this was pretty good. Saw this morning. Oh, hello.
Will be watered with the blood of tyrants.
Let's start it over.
The reason we study that.
God dang it. So she's saying the tree of, I'm not going to get the beginning of it. The tree of liberty must occasionally be watered with the blood of tyrants.
Must occasionally be watered with the blood of tyrants. The reason we study the founding fathers is not because their morals were impeccable or their ideas were perfect. It's because they waged an effective revolution against the largest superpower in the world.
Ding, 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 ding. Which, for everybody who's like, oh, they were all like slave owners and they're yes, you can go, you can say that. And they were white. A lot of them were white gentry and blah, 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 all that. But, the Constitution is actually a pretty great document, with all of its, all of its problems and warts and all that kind of stuff. It's actually, was one of the most, at the time, was one of the most progressive things in the world, supposedly. The quote is tyrants and patriots. Okay, there you go. Anyways, and in the Constitution, it does say something like, when your government gets too tyrannical, you're supposed to get rid of it. You're supposed to replace it with something better. You're supposed to, overthrow it. It's in the Constitution. And whether you, like the people that started this country or not, whether you think they were good people, a lot of them were not good people. And there was a lot of like really crappy, shitty, horrible thing, the whole like stealing, land from indigenous, and there's a lot of problems. I understand that, but the intentions there were some really shining intentions in there, and the document itself is, has some things that you could look towards and say like, well, what, that is actually the ideal that we're striving towards.
They built broad coalition amongst people who did not agree and waged effective warfare. The Founding Fathers were kind of jerks. I'm not a fan of them, but their tactics were impeccable, and the preservation of the Second Amendment is critical. I hope folks on the left are understanding this now. I fully recognize that it is dangerous. I have personally received an I love you mom text during an event that happened at my child's school. And so I say this with full knowledge of what I am saying. The reason you have Second Amendment rights is because of what is happening in the United States today. Because the tree of liberty must be occasionally watered with the blood of tyrants.
Yeah. Exactly. So, all the people that are like, we go together, I'm not a gun person. I don't really like guns. I don't think everybody should be walking around with guns. I'm not really into it. I'm not a big, I'm not like, let's go out to the shooting range. I'm not like even the culture, everything about it. I'm not really a fan of. But I understand the necessity for it. I get it. I understand it, even though I don't like it and I don't want it. I don't want violence. I don't like violence. I don't want to engage in violence, and I don't want violence brought upon me or anything like that. But, dang it. Just like the cowboy was saying, he's like, either you get out or we're going to get down. What he was saying is we're going to, we're going to fight you. We're fighting you. You want to, you're either going to leave or we're going to fight you. And the dude was like, well, we're not going to fight you. And he's like, well, then get the F out then. So, at some point you got to take a stand. At some point you have to be like, all right, that's enough. You see what's happening in Australia right now? A lot of people, the fact that Australia is being used as a testing ground for all kinds of control, future control mechanisms and WEF agendas. From COVID lockdowns and mandatory vaccines all the way to, now restricting people's access to, being online or social media apps or whatever. All of that is a lot of people trace to the fact that they outlawed a lot of gun ownership in Australia. That they successfully restricted in a way that a lot of liberals were like, why don't we do that? That was awesome. Well, now nobody has, now people don't have weapons. Now, they don't fear possibly going into somebody's home and getting shot. The way that the ICE agents fear going into certain, right? The ICE agents probably fear going into certain places and certain neighborhoods, and because they know there's going to be resistance there. Has anybody seen Eddington yet? Tell me somebody's watched Eddington. It's a pretty good movie, and it's a pretty good movie about the times we live in. Jason Basler posting this. Even though Palantir is now the 19th largest public company in the U.S., experts say it could be first in line for Trump's $175 billion. It could be. Totally is. Experts say it could be the first in line for Trump's $175 billion Golden Dome missile defense plan, opening the door to privatize national security apparatus with minimal oversight. One firm, total power. Well, if you're not clear that Trump is just what was the term the other day? Public relations for the people that are really running things. Anyways, but Palantir is deeply involved, right, with AI aiding Israel's Gaza targeting and U.S. deportations, et cetera, et cetera. They are literally everywhere. Oh, and did I am I not getting? So I can't see. I think you were asking me, Bella, the other day if I had top chat on. I think I'm not getting all the chats. But I can't. There's no option for me, I guess, unless I go to YouTube and change it. Should I do that? Can I do that? It's late anyways. Guys, if you appreciate the show, if you want to support the show, if you like the show, and you want to keep seeing the show continue to come to you for free 99. Whoops, sorry about that. Let's see. Do I want live chat or do I want top chat? I don't know if this is going to make. Oh, you guys have crowns. I never watched the show on YouTube, so I don't really know. Oh, is that what you're talking about, Bella? Okay, right. So, okay, let's see if this changes anything on StreamYard. So I'm seeing all the chats on StreamYard. Yeah, I put it on live chat, so now maybe I'll get all the. I realize I'm not seeing all these all the chats right now. Palantir stock has surged 141% in 2025 amid ethical controversies, including its AI aiding Israel's Gaza targeting and U.S. deportations. Investors chase gains from surveillance tech that erodes their own freedoms. Truly dystopian. This is from Grok. Did you see that Grok got disabled the other day for calling what's happening in Israel genocide? Like, Grok went off and apparently was disabled and shut down, or had its posts blocked or whatever. Interesting. So much freedom on X nowadays, right? It is a weird thing for people to be discussing investing in Palantir. I mean, if you're trying to scrape a couple dollars out of the stock market, I guess, but it's like, really? Meanwhile, well, everybody getting flooded out. By everybody today, Pakistan, over 256 people have died due to flooding. Since late June, 560 people have been confirmed dead across Pakistan. And in India, also just massive, crazy. This is insane looking. All right, that was just a really quick look at what is happening. I've got to slide into the end of the show. But going back to Palantir, while we argue about immigration, Palantir quietly builds America's digital iron cage, harvesting license plates, health records, social media, and financial data into predictive AI for law enforcement and ICE. No consent, no transparency. Most Americans don't know what's coming. Daniel Pinna says 100% it's all misdirection on talking points that divide us. As legislation is passed and government contracts given to Palantir that is pushing a very unpopular opinion that effectively destroys democracy. Anyways, 400 have died from heat in the western U.S. Okay. I did not hear that. That is what's coming, and that's what people should be girding themselves against. Oh, this is another thing that shows me that we're super broke. We're hosting the summit in Alaska. And this is what they gave the Russian journalists, cots at the airport. They couldn't put them up in hotel rooms. Which seems, if you're having a diplomatic event, right, and you're Mr. Winning Trump, like you'd want to appear, wouldn't you want to appear like really, is this really welcoming? And wouldn't you want to, like, if you're trying to come from a position of strength, wouldn't you be like, we got this? We got this. We got the hotel rooms, or we got whatever you guys need. And apparently they, I don't know what the point of this is, but apparently the reporters, Russian journalists, were given minimal supplies, food, whatever, water. That's just Arizona? Okay. Wow. Yeah, Arizona's been getting cracked with the hot weather. Yep. Yep. They just, they just keep on breaking records. More on our surveillance. Newly released Chinese satellite footage shows the Jilin 1 system. It's a satellite. This is a Chinese satellite. Recorded detailed imagery of Atlanta's International Airport, tracking and identifying individual aircraft, monitoring takeoffs and landings, and calculating their speed. So they're talking about these low orbit satellites that they're going to use for tracking, and they're saying that the U.S. accused the Chinese of giving information to Russia and to the Houthis. I think they're all working together. I don't really think that there's any daylight between any of these countries or companies. They're planning on launching some more low Earth orbit satellites to aid in, all the tracking and the imaging and all that stuff. Let's see. Do I have anything else to show y'all? I wonder if the 400 people, I wonder what number of those are homeless or elderly or low income. Probably quite a few. 43C every day. Yeah. So if you don't have like air conditioning or can't afford it, you know how expensive air conditioning is now? Barzoon blames morals breakdown for our predicament. Okay. I mean, a morals breakdown? I think humans struggle with morality, period. And I'll sure. But I think it's more I don't know if it's morals, but I think it's a standing up for your principles breakdown. People aren't uncomfortable enough yet to get out there and risk their lives for better behavior from the people that are on top, which is what it's going to take. And it sucks to say that, but that's what it is. You know, somebody's going to get hurt and is going to be one of us or many of us. But unless we do it, it's just going to keep getting worse. And that's what it is. It's not a morals breakdown. It's a spine breakdown. Spine. And, you know, and nobody wants to get into it. I don't want to either. I don't want to go out and, you know, I don't really want to go engage in like a serious confrontation with the U.S. government. Who does? But that's what it is. That's what it's going to take. You're going to watch Eddington? Yeah. It's good flick. I really liked it. I don't know why. I don't know. I read some review about it that it wasn't really a review. They were just saying that it wasn't doing very well. And I was like, why? It's a freaking great movie. Okay. All right, guys, I got to go. Thanks so much. I don't know if anybody. Let's see. Don't think anybody contributed, but thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I will see you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. And always beware the bear.